Hi. What is up, YouTube land? I hope you're having a great day. Just got off of work, so I'm gonna pop one for the boys. Yeah.
Family water, aka Diet Mountain Dew.
No, mine's literally Dr. Pepper and cream soda, zero sugar.
I just can't believe that exists for like Dr. Pepper.
Right? I saw it and I was like, yeah, I gotta try this. I don't usually like buying normal like 12 packs because they're kind of expensive because I'm a cheapo, but with this I was like, yes, I will pay $5 for this. I will do it. First test. It tastes exactly like you think it would.
What, just generic cream soda? Or does it have the peppery Dr. Pepper to it?
It's 80% Dr. Pepper with a cream soda like taste to it.
Yeah, I'll have to try that next time.
It's not bad. So, not to date ourselves, but today is, nah, I won't even do it.
I was about to say, I was going to do a joke where I started the video
Nope.
being like, happy anniversary.
Nope. Alright. But, not to date ourselves too much, but today, right now, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 11th, 2021. My question of the part is how you doing? And part number 2 is I was in 7th grade when 9/11 happened.
Are we really talking about this?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say how much of a boomer I am. I was in 7th grade.
I was also in grade school. I remember it happening in computer lab, specifically in computer lab. So it's like a very specific memory for me.
Yeah. I remember being sent home early and not realizing what was going on. And I'll leave it at like that. But I was talking to one of our employees who's like, I don't know, 24 or something like that. And he was like, I don't remember it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it feels
I'm
weird,
old.
because I just think I'm always like younger than I am, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm like almost 29.
Rip.
Rip.
At least age is only a number, and I feel every second of it. Am I right, folks? But
Best room. We'll be
oh
back
god,
to that.
I hate it. Even looking at it, it makes me...
Yeah, so we're doing the route where I get the secret attachment for the Magnum, which requires to go back to the RPD a third time, because you need a film roll. I'll explain this as it goes on. It's a little bit of a backtrack trip, and in fact it takes probably like 5-10 minutes, but the secret attachment for the Magnum is amazing.
Excited to see it. Oh, by the way, for any of you who are Resident Evil fans who might be watching this, we have something else Resident Evil related coming up later. It'll be a separate video, but during the sit-down, you'll probably see it within, I don't know, the next 3-4 days after this video's up. And I hope you all enjoy. It's something that I never thought I would see. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is this something you're doing later?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like literally today. It's a game on PC, and I'll leave it at that. So you'll see it up on our channel, YouTube videos or YouTube viewers. But I also don't want to give it away for Trev. But it is
excited.
It is RE related.
So Geodog comes down. As long as you hug the left wall, it will not stun you. And we will not be coming back this way, so we don't have to worry about it.
They're one-hit kills, right?
No. Actually, if they grab you, they do damage, and they inflict poison, which poison in this game is very bad. It, like, affects your breathing. It's like a respiratory, like, poison. So at times, like, every, like, 10-15 seconds, you, like, stop dead in your tracks to, like, cough your lungs out. And,
all things considered, I know that's kind of annoying, but that's also pretty cool.
yeah. But you do not want to get poisoned. But as long as... The only way you get poisoned is either getting grabbed by the G-Adult, or they do spew, like, G-embryos into the sewage water. And if you get touched by those, there's a chance you get poisoned as well. Alright, so this is the kind of reminiscent to RE2 Classic with the secret room, but this is an elevator going back up to the police station, which is pretty cool.
I forgot that you had to go back up. Or do you have to go back, like, back up?
No, this is completely optional.
That's right.
This is pretty much just a route to get the fully upgraded Magnum.
Delicious. I just love the map setup for this game.
Yeah, everything being interconnected is so awesome.
Very cool.
And, like, especially after you play this game, Like, my expectations for RE3 Remake was like, oh, it's going to be like the same thing. It's going to be awesome.
Nope.
I can't wait to, like, go through the clock tower, maybe be able to go back to the city. And it's like, nope, the complete opposite.
I just wish they would have given that game 6 more months.
Yeah. Like, how linear it is and how scripted it is, that's definitely a result of rushed development.
Oh, 100%. The game itself is good. Like, I enjoyed it, but I will say because of how scripted it is, I had no inkling in doing a second run. Like, when I was done with the first, I was like, alright, and I haven't played it since. I was like, I enjoyed that, and that was it. Whereas, like, Village, as an example, I played, like, literally 8 times.
Hey, Marvin.
Oh, no, I've stopped this, Lieutenant.
Oh, no.
You don't even get time for him to finish his dialogue before I killed him.
I will agree with Trev from part 1 that Leon is just a nothing burger character.
Yeah, he has absolutely zero like charisma at all in this game.
I like kind of get where they were going for because Leon. I mean, as we saw in the original RE2, Leon's a little bit too much of a simp in RE2, but
yeah, in terms of the RE4 remake, I'm not super concerned about it like some people are for some reason, because I think like if they give it time like this game, it's going to end up being pretty good.
Wait, is that the general sentiment that a lot of people are like worried?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Huh.
Because everyone like loves RE4 to like just absolute bits.
Yeah, but after Village came out and how awesome that was, like they still.
Yeah, I mean, the FPS Resident Evils have always been. Oh, yeah, buddy. We'll be getting back to that zombie. We'll actually see where it is.
Oh, that's cool.
You can kill it, but might as well show it off.
Well, I mean, the last 2 non-FPS ones were 2 and 3, and 2 is excellent, and 3 is, like, fine.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's good, but I think a lot of people just understand that it's not the greatest just because it was rushed. But
Yeah.
they're giving plenty of time for the remake.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they haven't even shown, like... I feel like with RE3 it was like, hey, RE3's coming out, here's RE3. Like, I maybe I'm misremembering, but it felt like it was just coming out. And it came out, like, literally in April of 2020, and it was like, maybe they were just like, alright, well, we can't delay it. People are home and they're bored because of virus, so let's just put it out because we'll be able to sell it, you know? But maybe they thought if they waited, like, 6 months or a year, it would be like, oh... people won't be home and bored, so they won't get it? I don't know.
Yeah, and they also probably had... It was probably, like, very corporate in terms of being like, oh, Village is coming out next year. That'll be the Resident Evil for next year. So
Yeah.
this year it has to be now. Because
Yeah.
we have to give it, like, a year, like, cycle to be on, like, shelves. To be the prominent one to buy.
That's a shame. But, yeah, I honestly, it's weird, because I love RE4. It's one of my, like, 10 favorite games. I'm, like, not worried about it
Yeah.
like I was with 3. I was, like, pretty concerned that they would, like, butcher 3. And as we said, they didn't butcher it. They just didn't make it long enough.
Yeah. And I think my original thought process when I even mentioned RE4 Remake is the only thing I'm worried about is the writing and characterization. Like, if... I just don't know if they're going to take it super seriously or not, or just make Leon into, I don't know, a void like this game. But
Yeah,
I guess
would-
we'll just have to see.
if they have to take it one side of the because Leon in 4 was pretty over the top. So if you had to tell me that either is going to be a void like this game or like ridiculously over the top, I would rather that they did it ridiculously over the top.
All right, so we're using. We found a film roll in the sewers, and this is like a secret hiding place. It shows 2 hiding places for items. One is for ammo for the chemical thrower. Flamethrower, and the other one is a hidden attachment for the Magnum in Wesker's desk in the STARS office. And this also applies to Claire, but Leon's attachment is actually useful. Claire's attachment is completely pointless, which I won't spoil because I will be getting it when I do Claire B.
Since you did it, obviously the items don't show up until...
Yeah, you have to develop that film roll
Gotcha.
to even get the option of like picking it up. Still gotta be careful about that liquor because it's still here. Alright, so the hiding place is in here.
Wooden box. Wesker's office is pretty dope, all things considered.
do not let me leave this room without grabbing that again, because I've done that multiple times.
Rip.
Alright, so the Magnum, I guess I want to explain this real quick. So in this game, there's like a focus shot like mechanic, where when you pull out your gun, it takes a little bit for like a pinpoint reticle to start. And the Magnum is especially bad, unupgraded. Like, you see that. It's like 2 full seconds.
Yeah.
But the attachment for this is a laser scope. And when you combine that, not only does it always give you a pinpoint,
Ooh!
but it lessens the time by like a fourth. It is ridiculous.
Grab that thing. Yeet.
But yeah, even though we have the Magnum, you still don't want to kill Lickers, because Lickers take like 3 shots.
Oh my god!
And by the time you like shoot them once, they are so quick, and they will just slice you, and on hardcore you're immediately in danger.
So it sounds like they made Lickers, how do you put it, much more difficult, but also easy to nerf by walking past them.
Like in RE2 Classic, they are also blind and you can walk around them, but since like Lickers hardly ever like stay stationary on the ceiling, they're almost always on the floor, and obviously RE2 is designed to have like claustrophobic hallways. You can almost never get around them.
I'm trying to think of a single time where you can just get by it by walking in 2, you know? Nice head, bro.
So here's the other hiding spot. I don't need to get this, but it does make our lives a little bit easier for the Birkin 3 fight. So it's a full canister of chemical flamethrower, and here's the zombie that I was talking about. It's kind of cool that you can see him right there. You don't really need to kill him, but sure.
We wanted to put him out of his misery.
I don't even know if I actually headshotted him, but that's pretty much the last shotgun shell I'm shooting at all. Like, once I put it back in the box, we're never getting it again. Because the way that I play this game, I save all the yellow gunpowders to mix Magnum rounds exclusively. And we have so many that we can do the entire game with the custom Magnum, which is
delicious.
Awesome. Alright, so I don't need this, don't need this. I actually do want to pull out the regular handgun. Just reload it and then put away the bullets. I want to grab all our Magnum. And then 2 gunpowders. Yeah, that's good.
Maybe Resident Evil 4 Remake will finally be Resident Evil 3.5. Kinda. I think that'd be pretty cool.
What, like them adding like ghosts and like the supernatural?
Oh no, I just meant like the general feel of it, where it's like a little like more horror based. If I had to guess, I would figure they'd probably make it more actiony. But
yeah, I don't know.
It's
it's like the Resident Evil 2 remake is definitely more horror than the original.
And Village is more.
Village has like horror segments, but is generally more over the top. All right, so we get the extended barrel for the Magnum. It does make it take 2 spots, but it is such a cool weapon.
So yeah, that's. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna put it together, but
dude, just look at that thing.
Oh, delicious.
It looks awesome.
But like I said, I think it's one of those things where it's what's the word? Where like I don't care. Like if it's good, great. If it's bad, it's not gonna bother me. What kind of thing? I think it's because everyone loves 4, and I have the minority opinion of like loving 3 more than 2. And it's not just me being like having to have like anti-opinions. It's just like literally I love 3. So I was worried that they would butcher 3, but with 4 it's like everyone loves 4. I just don't think they'll do it. What?
Get out of my way. When they're decapitated, they cannot hurt you. It just does that animation sometimes. And it can actually screw you over if like you're in like a hallway with 3 zombies and like you decapitate one, like especially with the shotgun. And then it does it, then you might get hit. But in general, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we're going to do the worst room in the game. With the custom Magnum and our 24 Magnum rounds, it should be good, but in fact, it's pretty satisfying to just completely obliterate this hallway, because we have so many Magnum rounds, we can just kill everything.
This is indeed the worst room in the game, even on like
Worse.
even on a casual playthrough.
So I bring my handgun along for 2 reasons. First, to pop this one out of the water, and also when they do G-embryos, you can shoot them with the handgun. But in general, you kind of want to stay close so he does that attack. And in general, if you do 3 focus shots, and only 3 focus shots, you can kill him in 3 shots.
Do you have to hit the eye for that to be the case?
Yes. You have to get a shot where it does the yellow blood. Alright, that was perfect. That one has like a covering over the eye. It's the only G adult that actually has a covering for whatever reason. There's one more we have to kill. It's coming out of the sewer pipe right there. Whew.
I forget, Village and Biohazard, do they use the same engine as this?
Yeah, it all uses the RE engine.
Right, but
Capcom, yeah, Capcom has been using it for a lot of games. DMC5 used RE engine. I'm not sure about Monster Hunter World because I haven't touched that game in years. But it might have been too early.
That's really cool. I like that. And I would not mind if the future games for the next couple of games use this same engine. I think it looks great.
Yeah, this engine, it had some rough spots in terms of, like, I pointed out when we were doing the RE7 playthrough, but character models looked especially weird. Like, really, like, shiny and, like, disgusting looking, but it fitted the game well in that case. But over the years, especially, like, Village looks gorgeous, and it runs good, even on, like, a base PS4.
Yeah, I only have a base PS4, and I thought it ran really good. The only time that there was ever anything is if, when you had... Oh gosh, it's been months since I played, but there's something that makes you run really fast. Sometimes if you run really fast past certain, like, points, it'll take a second to load on the base PS4. Like, it'll just kind of, like, stop there for a second, but besides that, it runs perfect.
Yeah, that happened to me when I did the RE7 playthrough a couple times, but on PS4 Pro, I don't remember that happening a single time on Village, so
Yeah.
it's probably a little bit more optimized for the Pro system.
Yeah, I literally have a base one from, like, 5 years ago that is running probably 10 hours a day, just, like, between gaming and, like, Netflix and all that stuff. And I'm just like, if and when it dies, I'll be like, alright.
Alright, so there's a
PS4
G-Adult
Pro.
that's going to do, like, it's going to try to grab us, but it's like this is like a unique attack. And when it comes up out of the water, for whatever reason, it does not stun you.
Huh.
That does not work with any of the other G-Adults, just that one, because it's doing that, like, that's like a unique one-of-a-kind move. But because it does that, we can just escape it easily. Alright, so luckily we're done with the sewers. I think at the end of the first sit-down, I was, like, talking about how the sewers were impossible, and I don't know exactly why I said that. Because even at this point I was doing Magnum, like, runs. But as long as you can go through the G-Adult, like, hallway with just defensive, like, grenades, it is possible, but that is stressful. And I used to do Claire B like that, but I don't do it anymore. Alright, so this is Queen. Here we put the King. Rook goes in here. And then...
You mean Knight?
Yeah, rip.
Absolute rip.
Rip. Alright. So for this, you really, for Birkin 2, you only need the chemical flamethrower with the 400 fuel, but I'm going to bring some extra stuff just to be a little bit safer. Gunstock, finally equipping that to the Matilda,
Yeet.
just for some fun. We need handgun ammo, I guess. I don't need this knife. I want to grab this electrical part. I don't actually need this either. And then I need one flash grenade.
Oh, you know what? I just thought about it. RE4 might be the system that makes me eventually get a PS5, because considering it's, like, not anywhere close to coming out, I would probably guess it's going to be a next-gen exclusive.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like, at a certain point,
Oh yeah,
They're
absolutely.
just not going to make PS4
Yeah.
versions anymore.
Almost there.
Oh,
I would say this year and probably most of next year is going to be good. but-
yeah. And then it'll be like pretty much just weird JRPGs, like it is for every single system. It ends with just odd, easy to make hyperdimension Neptunia games. Also, I wanted to say, if it's okay, that the Xbox Series X, I don't own one and I probably never will, but it's probably my least favorite system of all time because of how do I put this?
Christ.
How similar it is to the Xbox One, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the UI is exactly
The UI is exactly the same, and not only that, from a retailer perspective, it's the worst system ever, because they use the exact same cases for Xbox One games. All they did was put a little tiny sticker on the upper right corner that's like, Series X! So, once more Series X games come out, it's going to be really confusing. And there's just going to be so many times where people are like, oh, I'm getting this game, and us being like, do you have a Series X? You know?
Yeah, they just made it so confusing.
I just, like, even PS5, like, slightly changed the, like, you can tell PS5 compared to PS4. It's easy. I really hate it. I'm probably going to make it a separate video where I do, like, a complete in-cast where I complain about it, but I really dislike it. And also, it's been out for almost a year, and there's, like, 6 games for it.
Okay, so this fight, we're going to be throwing a flash grenade, and while he's stunned, we're going to be using the flamethrower on him. We're going to burn him until we have about 120 fuel left, and he's going to stun. So as long as you have 2 flash grenades for this fight, there is absolutely 0 RNG to this fight. I just like to shoot him with the handgun just because I can. You don't need to at all. Alright, and then gonna throw another flash grenade. Make sure to, when you're flamethrowing him, to always be on his right side so he can't, like, grab you with his main arm.
Now I got you.
And, he is at the HP threshold where this will be a one-cycle fight, but I'm just shooting him just because it's fun.
Is there a...
So yeah, I bet for a lot of people this fight is kind of annoying, because on standard difficulty you can just, like, hit him with the container twice, and then it ends the fight. But on hardcore, you do have to do some damage, but it is so much easier and more consistent just to do a one cycle where you don't hit him more than once with the thing. Because if you don't stun him and, like, use a flash grenade, he just does attacks that you can barely get away from, or, like, in some cases, impossible to get away from. So you do not want him to do anything.
Is there a fight where you're going to go ham on the knife?
No, not really. On PS4 Pro at 60 FPS, you can do knife strats with Birkin 3, but you don't need to, because the flamethrower also completely decimates Birkin 3.
Come to think of it, I think every single run I've seen was on PC, which makes sense. As he mentioned last time, it's based on frames per second, and PC does 120.
Yeah, they do 120 FPS, and I said this the first part, but the knife does damage every single frame that it's inside an enemy hitbox. So literally PC players do double damage with the knife.
Just relax.
I can do it myself.
And yeah, if you watch a speedrun, it is quite impressive how fast they can kill Birkin 3. They, like, destroy his 3 eyes, he stuns, and then they knife him with, like, 2 knives, and then he's dead.
It's gotta be less
ridiculous.
than 30 seconds, yeah. It's crazy.
You don't understand. The situation's worse than I thought.
Not getting right in the head.
Do you remember that scene in RE4 where Ada jumps in and it's like a big reveal that she's alive?
I realize we're on the next score.
Yeah, the Leon-Ada relationship in this game is really odd, because at no point does
Got my shoulder.
Ada actually save Leon
Try now.
from Mr. X, other than, spoilers, throwing him the rocket launcher at the very end.
Want to help? We have to get to the nest.
But even, like, in RE2 Classic, like, you feel for Ada a little bit, because she, like, selflessly helps Leon from Tyrant's grasp, and then she gets, like, brutalized because of it, and you're like, okay, maybe she's turned a new leaf, and you eventually figure out that she doesn't, but it's at least convincing. But in this game, you never feel like she's a good person.
Cool. Ada was literally created because of one password in Resident Evil 1. Login John, password Ada.
She's not especially a bad character, like, badly written. It's just that I don't think you really like her almost at all.
Yeah. I like her. I like her as she gets more ridiculous as the series goes on. When she's like a quadruple crosser in RE6.
It's weird that she's like in RE4 at all, considering how far removed that game is from anything.
True.
But I guess when seeing her like first time RE4, it's surprising, kind of cool.
It's like seeing Wesker in Code Veronica, except for they totally ruin it by having a scene where they like have Wesker obviously go oh ho 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 ho, and you like slightly see his face, and you're like, all right.
Hey, Ada, check this out.
Hey, Ada.
You know what I was thinking?
I want to ride this cable car.
Take those bastards to justice.
It does look kind of cool.
I agree, but to be clear, you're not working in official capacity. This is a federal case. Once we get the G-Virus,
That was one of my biggest complaints about RE6, where like the world was like literally ending, and major cities like New York and Tokyo were like zombie apocalypses, and yet they were still like, the government, we have to follow rules, the president, and I'm like, yeah, friggin' right.
I was right.
Like her being like, this is a federal case. It's like, lady, there's like 10-foot tall like
Say it yourself.
monsters out there that are trying to kill us.
There's
Like,
literally a zombie T-Rex, like a 25-foot tall one trying to kill us.
yeah, yeah. Oh no, I gotta call this in. I think they do that in Revelation. Oh,
The fact that they do the kiss now, I don't know. It's just
yeah.
there's absolutely zero chemistry
Yeah.
between them.
I think they do that in Revelations 1, where they're like, we must follow protocol, and I'm like, what the heck?
To see you again.
We're nothing without our protocol, boy.
Trust me.
Like you, baby.
It's like when they do the kiss after Ada gets injured by Tyrant, it's just so much more emotional than right now.
Yeah. I remember for 6, that was something that we were like, what the heck? Where like one scene would be like, you know, like I said, Tokyo and New York and Washington D.C. being completely rubble, but then like Claire would be at like this like nice peaceful like cemetery, like visiting a grave, and I'm like, so is the world exploding or not? Like, oh no, it's just Washington D.C. But if you're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, it's fine. It's like, is that really how it would be? You know? And I don't even think that's nitpicking. I want to hope that it's not nitpicking.
For your safety, stand clear until the doors are fully open.
Hello, Chadlon.
For your
Muchin.
safety, stand clear until the doors
This is the lab, right?
Yep.
So they skipped the power plant place, right?
For your safety, stand clear.
Yeah, but that's like barely a thing.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like nothing in the other
Enjoy
game.
your visit.
Okay. I wonder where
Alright, so...
Leon should go to the secretary and ask where the G-Virus is.
G-Virus is.
Hey, can you sign in here as a guest? Sure. Where's the G-Virus? Oh, right this way, sir. Can I see the G-Virus? Oh, yeah.
Oh god, on this TV it's going to be impossible to see anything. So this room can be a problem, but as long as you are quick on your feet and just do this specific path before the zombies like stop eating each other and this one gets up, you can skip everything.
You know, for some reason, this part reminds me of the part in RE3 where Carlos is literally in the hospital and has to do, like, a 10-minute, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like, raid cutoff? I don't know what you want to call
Yeah,
that.
the like horde mode.
The horde mode, yeah, the zombie mode or whatever. They literally have that in the game, because the game was so short, they were like, we gotta put this in here. Sorry, guy. I'm gonna guess that you use the flamethrower for the plants?
Actually, no. The plants, you can only kill the Ivy zombies with fire for either character, but you really don't need to. And especially since we're doing the Magnum the entire way, you can stun an Ivy zombie 100% consistent with just one Magnum round.
And you can just get past them.
Yeah,
then.
and you can just run around them. So it's not a big deal. The first time you're playing this game, you probably just kill everything so you can actually explore, but you just don't need to. Yeah.
By Chief Cartwright.
Ivy zombies are also pretty scary because if they grab you and you don't have a defense item, it is an instant kill on any difficulty.
Ooh!
So you need to have like either some sort of grenade. Hunk!
No! Was there any DLC for this game?
There was like a little bit. You have the Ghost Survivors, and there is a hunk mode. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't.
But
I'm definitely not doing any of the Ghost Survivors.
That's funny because RE7, as we saw a couple weeks ago, has like so much DLC, and then 2's just like, eh.